Get Out. One of the more interesting...
Sorry, wrong graphic. Remake Dragonheart. There we go.
Remake
Start.
All right, Get Out. Ben, start with you.
I thought Get Out was a really fun, good, suspenseful thriller. Psychological thriller and like survival, similar to Dunkirk, of overcoming, being quarantined. And speaking of feeling trapped, the way they showed you being trapped when he went to the thinking place was very
hypnotized.
When he was hypnotized, was so claustrophobic, and it's like it was such a beautiful, wonderful visual way of showing what it would feel like being like in the astral plane of your mind, just seeing this tunnel vision. It was very claustrophobic
and not in control of yourself.
It's very gave me a little bit of anxiety. I thought it was a really good thriller. I thought it was funny. Like the TSA buddy was so funny in it. He was so funny. He made me laugh at the very end so hard. I think he's my favorite character out of all of them. But to me it reminded me a lot of Alfred Hitchcock. It had a really good thrill to it. But I don't think it's the best picture, by any stretch of the imagination. I think it was a good movie, but I think it was like, I've seen the symbolism was good in it. What it would feel like to be a black person, in a white person's world. It was a little over the top because these people were psychos, but I guess that was the whole point, to make you feel like, this is how you feel, especially at the beginning when he's walking in the suburb. Mm-hmm. But I think as a thriller, like I've seen thrillers like this before, and they're good, but I think, I don't know. I think it was good and I enjoyed it. It was one of my favorites, but I don't think it's best picture worthy to me.
Colin, what do you think?
I'm glad the Academy is recognizing it. But I do agree with you, Ben. I don't see it winning Best Picture, but I do like that it's on there. I am looking forward to Jordan Peele's movies and seeing what else he's going to do. I love all the symbolism throughout the whole movie, like separating the Fruit Loops from the milk. At first, it's like, what are you doing, weirdo? Yeah. But then you're like, oh,
the colors,
symbolism.
The color,
the deer stuff. I thought I didn't get that at first. I don't
get the deer stuff.
So at the start, so the deer jumps in front of the car as like a warning, but then there's Bradley Whitford's character mentions that they're overpopulated, and you get rid of them as far as I say, and then you see the trophy of the deer at the end. Like it's all sort of like
symbolism of getting rid of black people.
Yeah, like you don't. And that's
Genocide.
Kind of the interesting angle of this whole movie and the allegory is that like people, even white people who project that they are not racist, still have racist, and they're not necessarily, and they still appropriate black people for their own means, and like they're not totally. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead, Colin.
Oh no, absolutely, I agree with all that, and I thought it was a very fun thriller for being like it was supposed to be somewhat horror film. It was still funny. I like adding in humor into horror films. I really enjoyed the silent auction. Like that was
wild
really
powerful
to watch, and like the way
like
that
when
they
you think
shot
of like
it
a
and
slave
stuff.
auction, like there's a lot of good parallels with that too.
It was like. But it was great because what was great about it is you're watching it in real time, like what's going on, and then it all like connects at the end. Like, oh my god, that makes sense.
If you hadn't had the movie ruined for you and you went into it and just watched it, I hope that is everybody's first time because it was really fun. Not knowing what it was all about until. The movie, until you see it.
So I agree with everything you guys have said. I think I wouldn't say obviously. I think the strongest part for me is how they used, to Ben's point, kind of like familiar thriller or sci-fi tropes and apply this racial allegory on top of it in a very unique way, I think, that we haven't seen before. Yeah. And that's sort of the power behind the whole movie. And I think the performances, Daniel Kaluuya, who's in we just saw in Black Panther, and he's in this.
He's better in this.
He's very good in this.
Yeah.
And
the girlfriend was good too.
yeah, and I think the elements of sci-fi and the elements of horror, I think they are also, to Jordan Peele's credit, very strong.
Yeah.
They are tense. That it is very kind of interesting. Yeah, you're right. So when I saw this the first time when it first came out, I had the same reaction of like, this is a best picture. Like this, people think this will be a best picture. What? Come on. I rewatched it last week. I think it definitely should be on the list, although I still have. So one of my issues the first time around, I had two issues. One of them is held, the other hasn't. The first is that I felt like when I first saw it that it felt like an elongated sketch. Like there were elements of a sketch that were kind of tacked on, and I felt
Peele
like
is known for sketches.
The TSA stuff felt like
great.
Jordan Peele comedy stuff added on top of the movie.
I didn't feel that.
I am wrong about that. I'm definitely wrong. Although I still feel like the TSA stuff feels kind of jarring to me.
I think,
like on top of how like serious everything else is.
I think that's why it makes it a complete movie to me because okay, it actually grounds it a little bit to make it even scarier for me. This is how my reaction. Like the very end, it all ties in because he pulls up and
the
spoilers
yeah,
at this point.
He
pulls up in the police car, and you think, oh shit,
and the police
and
stuff.
It's him,
There's
TSA. And
that was good.
The best part was like you would have like when he comes in all bloody and stuff. You would like it was such a good dismount because you would that would be real. I told you not to go in there. And he's
that's
like,
true. That was funny.
But that I laughed so hard, but also like I laughed because it was real.
You're right.
It grounded it, even though a lot of it was a little fantastical. To be honest with you, that's my rub. Why I don't think it should be in Best Picture, even though like we have Shape of Water and stuff like that for Best Picture. It was too fantastical in the reality that they put it in.
Yeah,
that was my only rub. I wish it was more psychological.
Yes,
to be honest.
So as much as I think the characters. I thought it was great. I thought Daniel Kaluuya's character had an arc within the movie, within the allegory. His character had like his mom's death. Like he actually had independent motivations of this other larger picture. And
he was very passive at the beginning because he's so used to being but he was the one,
and he gets this But as much as I liked all the like subtle non-explicit racist comments throughout all building up to the end, I felt like, and this is something that's held from my first viewing, I felt like the payoff of them body swap, the reason they are body swapping, the ultimate reason was a little bit of a letdown. Like just, we specifically want to put ourselves in black people because they are stronger, faster, cooler. Yeah. Like they that didn't like tie this great idea all together perfectly for me.
Wives.
And when you think about, so like those were the grandparents, but what was the reason for a black person necessary? Like, I don't know. It started to feel like I was just being strung along for the sake of the idea.
I think,
if that makes sense.
I think the generalization of a black person being athletic and superior, physique and stuff. I think they're trying to capture that racism, about
I think that's a good observation for sure.
But how many white guys in the NBA? I'm just
that's what I'm getting at. It just felt like, that's it. Like it was almost like if they went way over the top with like, these white people just have secretly hated black people the whole time and are trying to take them over. Like if they had gone so far over the top, I felt like it would have been just as, I don't know. Maybe I just don't understand.
I'm going to watch it again, obviously, so that's a good sign.
All right. Sorry, Colin. We kind of took over.
Right on time.
We took over, Colin.